It's Thursday. It's Mark Pires. And it's real talk.
I was walking down the road today, looking for another way
to ease my mind
and help my living.
It's real talk. It's the daily variety show, Mark Pires Real Talk. I'm here to help you make smarter moves to amplify your current state. And I'm here with you on Thursday, day 367 in a row, year 2. And we're just moving along here, aren't we? I thought it would be a good time to talk about New Year's resolutions. I find we all write them down and then we forget about them. And then we look at them at the end of the year like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, I wrote that one down. Because we always pick these resolutions that are completely ridiculous. Like, what's with us picking things that we're never going to actually complete? Yes, I am live absolutely right now. Miss Butterfly, how are you? I'm so glad that you're joining me over here on Periscope. I have been live every single day for the last 367 days, Miss Butterfly. 367 days in a row. Not just, hey, I'm on here for a few minutes, hope you have a great day. We're talking 45 minutes to an hour and a half every day for a year. And we're just moving forward. My new thing is hashtag 730. We're on our way to 730 days in a row. Michael, what's up, buddy? So right now, just so you know, Phil, my buddy Phil's on as well. He's here from YouTube. And we have Miss Butterfly over there on Periscope. And I got Michael over here on Instagram. And Miss Butterfly is a new viewer, so I just want to share a couple things. Miss Butterfly, I'm live on 8 different networks right now. Twitch, Periscope, DLive, Facebook, YouTube. What else am I missing? Vaughn Live. I don't even know what that is. It's so funny. When I hooked up to Restream, they were like, hey, these are all these other networks. And I'm like, okay, does it have a chat feature, like a podcast type of setup? And any of them that did, I made an account. So Twitch, we're starting to gather some steam. And I'm trying to get some people over on Periscope to recognize this program because honestly, I just started over there. And it's very hard when you just begin on a network to get anybody to pay attention. Pashi, how are you, my friend? I'm so glad when Pashi comes on. Always makes me feel great. I'm doing great today, Pashi. How are you? Pashi's over in Iran. And let's see what else. Phil's over here. And Phil's resolving to watch the Real Talk Show every day in 2020. Very excited about that. So this is going to be an amazing year. 2020. We're talking about a new decade. And I just can't wait to see what comes. You know, what happens in this first couple of months here. You know, I'm just thinking about one of the news stories today we're going to get into is there are 13 full moons this year. 13 full moons. And 13, if you guys know anything about the Real Talk program, 13 is my number. I was born on the 13th, April 13th. And my grandmother was extremely superstitious. I mean, superstitious. And she had like crazy ones. Like if you ate oranges after 10 o'clock, you would die. Not get sick, not have to go to the bathroom. You would die. So that was one of my grandma's superstitions. The other one was 13 was a very unlucky number. I used to take my grandma to CVS as she progressed and aged. And before she passed, you know, I had a conversation with her. One of these days, I'm on our way to CVS. I was like 19. I said, Grandma, what is going on with you and the number 13? Because there's even more to this. My aunt was also born on the 13th, but it was June 13th. And my grandmother, from the day my aunt lived until she passed, my grandmother would always say that she was born on June 3rd and that the hospital made a mistake and that they just wrote the birth certificate 10 days late. And it really was the 3rd, though. She was born on the 3rd. The hospital made a mistake. It wasn't the 13th. So her whole life, they celebrated June 3rd as her birthday, which makes me laugh. So I just said to my grandmother, Grandma, How could you think 13 is an unlucky number? I was born on the 13th. I love the number 13. I think it's probably the greatest number. And she wouldn't even hear it. Oh, no. She had this amazing, cute, she was like 4'11". And she had this super high-pitched voice. And she'd be like, oh, no, oh, my gods, oh, my gods. And I say, Grandma, why do you think 13 is a bad number? So this is what it all comes down to. I don't know if you guys have heard this before. Jesus and the 12 apostles. Because Judas betrayed Jesus, my grandmother believed that Judas was the 13th. You had Jesus and the 12 apostles. Obviously, the one who betrayed Jesus was the 13th. He's the outcast. I said, Grandma, you have it all wrong. Jesus always put everybody else before himself. Jesus was the 13th. And my grandmother belly laughed. It was amazing. Like, she belly laughed because I put it into perspective for her. Jesus did put himself before everybody else. There's no way Judas would have been 13. There's no way Jesus would have been 1. There's no way Jesus would have been considered the first one through the door. Selfless. I try to put myself in these shoes, okay? If it was me and 12 of my friends, I'm letting them in the door first, and I go in last to close the door behind me. It's the 12 apostles and Jesus. He put everybody else before himself. Now imagine if we all lived a little bit more like this. But we thought about those around us, especially those that we care about. Do you realize that you could help somebody that's very close to you that really, really needs your help? And here's the crazy thing. They may not have the pride. They may not have what it takes to step away from their pride to actually ask you. And I feel like at points in our lives, we are at different stages, different comfort levels. And those around us are at different levels as well. So we're all working with different, emotions every single day. And I believe that you could be the shoulder for a friend, a family member who's really in need and may just not know how to form the words. So I just say in this season, going into 2020 especially, I think this is going to be the roaring 20s. I think we're going to have a monstrous decade coming up. I know I'm going to. I refuse to pay attention to anything else around me. I will not be slowed down by anyone's negativity. I choose to drive straight. I may have to stop for gas. But look, every time someone throws some negative hurl at me or says, why don't you take a break? Why don't you stop and just do it? Why don't you do the 400 days and then quit at 400? What are you trying to prove, buddy? You know what? I'm trying to prove to myself that when I make a goal, when I set a task for myself, I do not relent. I do not stop. When I say to you I'm delivering a message every day for all of my days, my intention is to do that. I'm not going to wake up one morning and just say, I just don't feel like it today, guys. You're not going to get that message from me today, guys. No, every day I'm coming out. Every single day. And look, if I'm not feeling well, if I get to a point where my health diminishes and I'm not the same person that's sitting in front of you right now, then maybe I won't be doing it every day. But my intention is to stay healthy and is to continue to come out here and deliver positivity, motivation, inspiration, real estate advice, just anything I can, some music for you on the beat seat, whatever we could do to just keep you in the game. This is a crazy world. It's much like a game. We walk through it, trying to build new relationships, going from job to job, taking on new tasks, trying to prove ourselves over and over. And who are we proving ourselves to? I've proven myself to myself. So who else am I trying to prove it to? That's when you have to realize it's not about trying to do it for proof. It's about trying to affect positive change. You have the ability to do it in your own way. This is my way of doing it. This microphone is my way of doing it. I want you to find a way to just do it. Small, big, whatever. But get out of that shell this year. Don't sit back and watch people and do this like, speak up. What are you thinking? Well, I have all these thoughts going through my head right now, but instead I'm just gonna look. No. Tell someone how you're feeling. Give them some advice. Give them some encouragement. Let them know that it's okay. I saw a really sad note today. I haven't acknowledged this yet. I have to touch base with my friend. Oh, thank you so much, Emma. I'm so glad. Emma's listening while she's working out. Well, I'm going to keep you motivated while you go, Emma. I appreciate you tuning in. Tune in every day. This is what we do. We build you up, get you going, because you got to get that extra mile in there, Emma. You got to get one more mile in. You could do it. Nothing can stop you but you, Emma. Just remember that. Nobody around you. Look around you right now. All those people, they're working at a different level. You've got your own abilities. You've got your own level. Dig deep. I guarantee you're going to find something that you didn't even know you had. Extraordinary. It's amazing how much I believe in every single human being. And why? It's not my place, is it? I think it is. I believe, I said this going out of the 19s. Going out of 2019, when I finished up 365 days in a row, I started realizing what I had done. Not really much as far as building. This first year of going every single day probably annoyed a lot of people, but really what I did was prove that it's possible, that no matter what I had going on in my day, I would find the time to get on here and leave a message for you. I also proved that I don't need a script. For 365, now 367, I've come out here without a script and just let the universe speak. This is what I call it. My wife goes one day, she goes, "What does that mean? Let the universe speak?" I said, exactly what it sounds like. The energy of the universe is immense. And if you connect to it, you become electric. You become the conduit for change. And I just believe it took me a long time to really dig into it. I do remember when I was younger, I would say certain things and I'd have friends look at me sideways, or they'd talk about me behind my back and be like, "Ooh, Mark's a little crazy. Look at the stuff he's saying. He's seeing that? What does he think You know what? I just think differently than them, I guess. But I was so self-conscious about that at that time that I stopped. I stopped being that way. I stopped expressing how I was feeling and the thoughts and emotions that were going through me. Instead, I would throw them into my right hand and I'd write them down in song form and I'd sing them. I'd let real talk happen through song with the beat seat. Actually, the beat seat wasn't part of the picture, just me and my guitar. But when I was an MTV music artist traveling this country, I started taking everything I was feeling and just letting it out through the music. What I like about real talk is I don't have to break it down into a rhythm. I don't have to sit here and say, okay, it has to be in 4/4. It's got to be in 3/4. Like, no, I could just come out here and let the moment take me where it's going to take me. And it's happened every single day. And I just thank you guys for being with me, and Emma for being on the treadmill or whatever you're doing in the gym right now and listening to the Real Talk program means the world to me. Now, this is a new thing too, Emma. You can also find me on YouTube. I'm live every single day on YouTube as well as Twitch. And the YouTube show, which is cool, you have every show there. So when you're on at the gym tomorrow, if I'm not live, you can just put on yesterday's show or the day before. What was cool about yesterday's show, I did a New Year's show. It was 90% music, and 2 days ago as well. It was basically music on the beat seat. Now, if you happen to be on a little while, Emma, you're going to hear me play a song on my beat seat. Beat seat is the first drum for guitar players. I'm going to show you a little picture of it. It's also the first drum you could play with your hands and feet. I'm glad I did this because this needs to be adjusted. You guys are going to see how I do this in real time. Check this out. This one's going to disappear. Check this out. Ready? I'm going to take this puppy down here. You watching? This is what we call Real Talk Live Adjustment. Who's on it? And then we're going to take this one. Oh, how about that? We'll put it around there. Now, I like to leave a little bit of blue around it. Let me see. I'm trying to get this. I like to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty good, right? Then we take this thing and we go. How about that, right? And then this is the final step, guys. You ready for it? And we're ready to broadcast on the beat seat at some point. Actually, I'm going to show you something real quick because Emma's on and she's in the gym. I'm going to play you an improvisation that I put together. This is something that I did live during one of the Real Talk shows. Everything I record, I usually wind up putting into my soundboard here. This is one of the tracks. I'm going to play it for you. Let's see what you think. Ready? You know, I kind of want to do this one, though. I'm going to add a little beat seat to this. Check this out. Here we go. That's the beat seat right there. Oh, man, I love playing the beat seat. I don't know what it sounded like to you guys over there because I'm just rocking out on the thing here. Let's see what... Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Wow, Emma's in Germany. Well, I have to say something to all of my fans and followers in Germany. And this is because I have a wife that's German. Ich liebe dich. Is that right? Did I say that right? I love you, fans and friends in Germany. Yesterday, I had Dalton came on too, and he's from Germany. So this is cool. We get the Real Talk program in Germany. That's what I'm talking about. I would love to get to Germany one day with my family. My mother-in-law is from Nuremberg. This is an unbelievable story I'm about to tell you, and I hope I'm not getting in trouble for talking about this, but my mother-in-law, this is like meant to be type of stuff. Okay, so my father-in-law was in the army in the 60s, okay? And my mother-in-law was born in Germany, lived there her whole life. She was like, her father was this like really high up attorney. I don't know who he worked for, but he was like a really corporate attorney, okay? My mother-in-law, till she was 17 or 18 years old, she's in Germany, knows nothing else. My father-in-law is stationed like 4 or 5 hours away and somehow meets her at a party with friends. And she says, "Oh, I live here." She mentions where, like the station or whatever. And he just happens to he wants to find this girl he met. He gets on a train, just randomly gets on a train. He takes off. He doesn't remember what exit it is. He doesn't remember which stop. He remembers because I guess he took her on the train and she got off. So he sort of remembered, but he wasn't sure which one it was. Gets off randomly. He's walking around asking people, "Hey, do you know where Erica is?" And it's amazing to me because all of a sudden he's looking and he sees she's walking down the road, like just about to go back into her house. And he's like, "Erica," he screams out to her. And that is how he wound up reconnecting with her. And just think about it. Minutes could have been differently, at a different time, and he just would have missed her completely. She just happened to be walking down the street at that time. He goes, if I didn't see her, I probably would have just jumped on the train and gone to the next stop and seen if I got lucky there. But he wound up running into her. She left Germany, comes here to America, leaves her family, everything behind to marry some American GI, and start a life here in America. It's crazy. That's the way the world was. Like, people were willing to risk it all for love. They were willing to just leave everything that makes them feel comfortable. And she had an amazing life. She left it all behind to come here to America and start a family and start a life here from scratch because of love. I think that's just amazing. This entire life, this existence. I have 3 children now. They exist because he found her that day. It's crazy. In Germany, in Nuremberg. So, Emma, I appreciate you, and I definitely hope you will tune in. So what time is it right now in Germany? What time is it currently? Because I could do a little math, because Pashi's over on in Iran. And I think Pashi right now, if I'm right, tell me if I'm right, Pashi. Isn't it something like, what time is it right now, Pashi? What time is it for you in Iran? Oh, that's so true. Emma says stories about couples meeting each other are their own type of magic. I'm going to tell you a really great one right now, too. I'll tell you about how I met my wife. Okay, when I was a singer-songwriter and I was traveling this country and I was trying to, take these songs that I'd written, get them out to the world, it's 1:23. Is that in the morning? Oh my goodness. So Pashi's dealing with my nighttime schedule. He's up at 1:23 right now watching the show. Pashi, appreciate you, buddy. So, I'm getting a call here. So basically, we go out to this place. Now, this is a better story, okay? I had this friend, Scott. My wife had this friend, Emily. Scott and Emily dated briefly, but then they were just very good friends. And so I get a call from Scott one night. He's like, hey, I'm going to SBC, this place called Southport Brewing Company. I'm like, that's cool. Have a good time. He's like, no, you got to come. There's going to be a lot of people there. Oops. He said there's going to be a lot of people there, and I want you to come. And so I said, I don't really feel like it. I'm kind of tired tonight. I think I'm just going to kick it. Now, I remember this. It's 11:30 p.m. Okay, so it's 11 p.m. over there. So you're forward about 6 hours. Wow, Iran's away. The timing is so crazy. I wish I knew the map a little better. So I wind up going. My friend, he really pushes me. He's like, you got to go. There's going to be a lot of friends. So I even asked my other friend, Mark, to come join us. We all go. There's like 13, 14 people there. Somehow, I don't know how, we're all sitting in a booth. We somehow fit in a booth. We had a couple other people in front there. We're sitting in a booth, and somehow my wife and I sat next to each other. And one of my friends just was like belligerent that night. I had a friend who was just couldn't handle alcohol. Just like one sip, he'd just change into somebody different. Just sometimes that happens. Some people just, it doesn't work for their body. So anyway, he was doing silly stuff, and we were laughing about just the scenario. It was very funny. I think he was asking the waitress for a phone number or something like that. So my wife and I were laughing, getting to know each other without even really trying. Because the funny thing about this story is about 2 weeks before this moment, I specifically mouthed the words and spoke them to the universe, saying, I'm done with dating. I'm over it. I'm focusing on my career. I'm going to focus on getting my music out there. I just finished an album, just completing it. I was like in the studio. This album, just in the album, doing the edits on this. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'm going to knock this thing out of the park. I'm going to get something to live for on the map. And I'll worry about family, dating, everything else down the line. This is what I was thinking. Until my buddy Scott was like, hey, come on over. So basically, I go, whatever. Her story's even better. Same thing. She's like, I'm not going. I'm going to Florida tomorrow. My wife was leaving for Florida the following morning, and her friend was like, no, you need to go with me. Same thing. Twisted her arm into going. We wind up having this great conversation. We exchanged numbers. But this is the better story about the whole thing I want to tell you that I think you're going to enjoy. When I was 16 years old, I used to be a part of this thing called Young Life. Young Life was this youth retreat. It's religious. We'd get together. We'd sing songs like I do Brown Eyed Girl. It reminds me very much of this time I spent at Young Life because Brown Eyed Girl, I just want to check, make sure. Am I live on Facebook currently? Brown Eyed Girl was one of the songs we sang every single time. So it was a great thing. It was a great thing. Let me just check real quick. I just have to get over to this page. Young Life was awesome. Yeah, okay, I'm live over here. It doesn't look like all right, right now, guys, the chat from Facebook is not working over on my chat window. So I'm going to try to keep this open. Let me see if I can open it for you. Let me just shut it off. Let me shut it off. How do I do that? Come on, volume. I don't know how to shut the volume off. All right, there we go. So basically, okay, I can see chats now. So patience, thank you so much. Yes, I am going to continue to come out here, and I appreciate you. I will keep going. And thank you for letting me know you're inspired. That's the whole point of the show. About 6 months ago, Furman, one of my friends and colleagues in real estate, sent me a note after looking at one of my clips. He goes, Mark inspires. And I was like, whoa, if you put INS in front of my last name, it spells inspires. That's crazy. So we started doing this thing where I improvise songs in real time for you guys, and we call it the Mark Inspires moment of the show. We do it basically every day or most days. Anyway, let me get back to the story. So I'm doing this Young Life thing, and the priest at the time, his name is Father Kevin Royal. Father Kevin Royal there's been two priests in my life that I met, and I was like, wow. Where when they spoke, I wanted to hear what else they had to say. I realized why recently. I'm going to get to this. So Father Kevin is the priest at St. Aloysius in New Canaan. This is where I grew up. And he was the reason I went every Sunday. He's the reason I went to Young Life. I was inspired by this man because he was honest with us. He was straightforward, transparent. So he winds up being transferred to Stanford. And this was just like it broke my heart because I did not like the Monsignor. I didn't like anybody else there. I just didn't feel like I was getting a fair shake. They were always like talking about money and stuff. It was weird. So I turned off very quickly after Father Kevin was transferred to a different parish. So we fast forward, my wife and I are on our first date. And we're sitting across from each other. We're trading stories. And we started talking about people that have inspired us. And I talked about this priest that I still think about. I was 27 at the time, 26 or 27 when we were having this conversation. So I still think about this guy. I haven't seen him in 9 years. And he is, every time I have this kind of like good and evil thing sitting on my shoulder, like the weights of life, justice, whatever you want to call it, he's the guy I'm thinking about. And look, what would he say? It was a weird thing. I used to always think about this man. He was such an honest and great man. So we're talking about it. I said, I got to tell you about this priest. He was unbelievable. And he meant so much. He was transferred. She goes, oh, well, I have a priest in our family too. And he's, he married my brother and he baptized my nieces. I was like, wow, that's great. And then we start talking and I mentioned Father Kevin. I said, that's his name. She goes, oh, that's funny. That's my cousin's name as well. And I said, not Kevin Royal. And her face went white. Yes, Kevin Royal is my wife's cousin. My wife's cousin is the man who inspired me as a child, as a kid. My wife's cousin was the ring bearer at my in-laws' wedding. Father Kevin was the ring bearer at my mother-in-law and father-in-law's wedding. I saw a photo of this and I was blown away because this is the man I looked up to when I was 16, 17 years old. He's in my family now. So I fast forward. Every year now, we go and see him on Easter Sunday and we listen to his sermon. We go to his mass. And when I saw him this past Easter, I realized why I was so connected to Father Kevin, why I gravitated to his sermons, why I wanted to hear the next words coming out of his mouth. It's real talk. Father Kevin is real talk. He's now at the Ridgefield Parish. If anybody is in Ridgefield, Connecticut, that's where you should be going. And he's awesome. So if you want to go and really be inspired by a sermon, if you go to a Catholic church currently and you're looking for a place to be inspired, go up and see this man. Father Kevin Royal. He's Monsignor now. Monsignor Kevin Royal. I mean, this guy is like, he's just like a holy man. It's unbelievable. And he's now someone I can reach out to if I need to. My wife can send him a message and say, you know, Mark wanted to ask you something. Do you mind? Like, I have that connection now that I lost for 8 or 9 years. But I have it now, and it's only because I married his cousin. How lucky am I that I found one of the few people in this life that truly made me reach for the good and to try to find more within myself that can help. And he's now in my family. Like last Easter, after Easter Mass, we went back to, you know, they have their quarters. We went back there and he took out cookies for my kids and we're all sitting there. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking to myself, this is the man. This is Father Kevin. This is the guy I looked up to. He had this goatee, 40-year-old guy with a goatee, and I was an 18-year-old kid. And now I'm sitting across from him. I have 3 kids, and he's my cousin by marriage. So stories about meeting people, I don't know if I can get much better than the connection story of meeting my wife and how I now am reconnected with Father Kevin because of this amazing wife I have. It's a very, very crazy thing, and I'm very, very fortunate. And like I said, I didn't think I'd ever see Father Kevin again, and now he's part of the family. So that's a pretty cool thing. Anyway, let's get moving through to the news. Now, I did have something I wanted to talk to you about, and I didn't even get into it. I had a real estate topic for you guys, and I didn't even finish the resolutions thing. I just want to tell you one thing about resolutions, okay? Don't set resolutions that you can't actually complete. Make them realistic. Give yourself a goal that you could actually reach. Like, here's a good example. You don't go and say, oh, I'm going to make $20 million this year. It's 2020. I'm going to go make $20 million this year. Well, look, if you made 16 last year, then that's not that crazy to say I'm going to go make 20. But if you made 180 grand this year, and now you're going to go try to make 20 million next year, I mean, come on, make yourself a realistic goal. If you made 180 last year, set yourself a 220 or 240 goal, okay? Don't make yourself crazy. Sometimes it's a slow build. Key is you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You don't want to stress yourself out. You want to continue on. If you burn out, that's no good for anybody. So set realistic goals, realistic expectations for yourself. Okay? If you made $3 million last year, this year my goal is to make 4. My goal is to make 6, to double it. Okay, that's fine. Just don't say you're going to go try to make 20 million when you made 180K last year. You know? Realistic goals. If you find that you have been losing a pound a month by effectively working out daily, or whatever it is, 2 pounds a month, don't say I'm going to lose 80 pounds this year when you know that your body maintains a 28-pound loss each year, 24-pound loss each year. You can't fool the numbers. You can't trick yourself into doing more than you can actually do. Set a realistic goal and then attack and go actually get it done. I don't want you to put a resolution in a jar. I want that resolution in your face. I want you to wake up every day and see that resolution. And that should be driving you. And you should be just crossing stuff off all year long. Oh, I got that one done. This whole idea of, oh, let me go back in and see did I do what I said I would do at the beginning of the year? Well, did you remember what you said? No, you didn't. You have a hard enough time remember what you said 15 minutes ago. Come on. Make it something you can actually complete and put it right in your face. It should drive you. The only way you'll complete it is if it stays top of mind. It's the same thing we talk about with pricing a home. You want to be priced to market, but you want to have shelf positioning, right? You want to be the most attractive thing the buyer sees. No different. No different. This will segue into my real estate topic. I'm going to get into this very quickly here for you. How to handle an offer. Now, this is an interesting one because it can be done many different ways, especially depending on what market you're in. You don't know. I mean, my market, I'll just give you an example. This is the best buyer's market I've ever seen. I bought a few years ago. I stress, if anybody's out there thinking about renting, consider buying. It's not the time to rent. It's the time to get in. Because the market will improve at some point. I don't know when. It may continue to slide. But at the moment, this is the best buyer's market I've seen. So, with that in mind, an offer comes in on your house. You're a seller. You've been trying to sell for a while. An offer finally comes in. But it's not the offer that you want. Hey, I'm asking, let's call it $2 million. I'm asking $2 million. And they came in at 1.8. Can't do that deal. Okay, well, that's fine, but we need to go back to them and counter. This is the biggest mistake I find sellers make. Sellers get offended by offers, and they don't respond to the initial offer. Oh, I'm offended. I'm offended by this offer. I'm not responding. You tell them to come up with their price. Bring up their price because we're not going to respond to this offer. Well, here's the problem with that response. First of all, you have cut off communications, you've cut off negotiations with this potential buyer. When you tell somebody you're done negotiating, they're done negotiating. There's no more conversing. Let them be the ones who cut off communication. You don't want to be the one who stops a negotiation from continuing. So you always respond. You don't even have to always respond with a number. It could be terms, whatever. Just always respond. Keep that conversation going and let them be the one to walk away, okay? So here's the thing, though. If you get an offer and it's not the offer you want, but you're not getting any other offers, you're in a market like I'm speaking to you about where it's tough. There's one offer per every couple months. You have to start thinking about the variables. Let's just say you do have a $2 million property. There's a good chance that your taxes, say in my town here in New Canaan, your taxes are like 25 grand. Let's call it 30, just so we can do easy math. You're spending 30 grand a year in taxes. You have an offer in your hand that you're not happy with. Now have to start thinking about it bigger. Okay, I'm only getting 1.8, but if that's all I have, and a year goes by, and I finally get 1,850, how much did it cost me to get there? I had 30 grand in taxes. I got my oil. I got my whatever. Everything adds up. You have to start considering the cost of getting out, the cost of your happiness, and waiting around for 10 or 15 grand when it potentially means losing that buyer, continuing to watch a market slide, and your next offer comes in even lower. That's a real situation that happens all the time here in my market. So very, very much, I'm trying to get people to realize, consider what you have in your hand. A bird in the hand is worth something. You do not want to walk away from a active buyer in this marketplace. You continue the conversation. Put a deal together. You don't want to lose the opportunity to sell a house because I'll tell you what, I've seen it. I told you guys a classic story. I had a first day offer. I'll tell you, my client we talked to the other day, first day offer for 1,750. First day. But we were on at 1,850, guys. 1,750, we're on at 1,850. But you didn't have to market it. You don't have to show it. You have a buyer in hand. They're going to close very quickly, 1,750. Well, this is sort of a normal reaction. We said, okay, well, how about we split in the middle? We call it 1.8. We good with that? How's that? Well, here's the thing you just don't know about real estate. That buyer put in an offer at 2 properties at the same time. On ours and on another one, the other one said yes to their offer. They buy the house. Now we're left holding the bag, starting the marketing process from scratch. So this, just remember, 1,750, okay? Fast forward a year and 3 months, 137 showings that I was there for every single one, showing it off. Now, the one thing I learned about this is how to show a home properly. That's something I figured out in my 137. 137 showings in a row. I sell the house for $1,650. $1,650. But wait, they had $1,750 last year. Yeah, but we were at $1,850. We want $1,800. Remember, it's not what you want. It's what a buyer is willing to spend and what you're willing to accept. Those are the only two variables. If you're not willing to accept the offer, there's no deal. A buyer's not going to come up to you and say, tell me what you need. What do you need? I'll make it happen. I'll write a check right now. Oh, you need that much? No. They're going to look at it. They're going to look at the comps. They're going to offer you what they think is fair. And you need to determine whether or not you are willing to say yes. But don't find yourself in a scenario where you're holding $1.8 million in this hand, real $1.8 million, and you have $200,000 in this hand, fake dollars that you believe your house is worth. This is the market speaking. This is what I want. 1.8 real, 200,000 fake dollars. I've seen so many people take the fake money. Oh, I'm going to hold on to that dream of getting that $2 million. I need my $2 million. You don't know what you need. You only get what you get. Don't think you could fool people into paying you more than the market will yield. You get what the market will bring you. You have to be wise enough to take the money and run. Remember, your happiness is the focus. It's not the secondary. It's primary. You have to focus on your happiness. And yes, we could all use another 10, 15, 20K. But remember, 1 year later, 100,000 less, and they paid the entire year of taxes. I don't know if they had a mortgage, but they paid the entire year for taxes. It was about $18,000. They had to pay their oil. Went through the winter. They had a backup generator, so they had to keep that going too. That was on propane. They probably spent another $60,000 to stay in that house for a year and a half while we showed it to 137 people. We sell it. They got 100,000 less and $60,000 out of their pocket while they waited. So remember, don't think about what you're asking and I need to get close to what I'm asking. No. What are you getting for an offer, first of all? Look at that number and say, what could I do with that? Everyone's so concerned with, I need X. No. Find out what you can get and then look at that number very close and say, what can I do with that total? What can I do with that much money? What can I do with $1.8 million? No, I'm going to keep holding it out. That's a funny one. If you're a realtor, you should be using that. Oh, I got an offer for $600,000. Yeah, but we're on for $630,000. We're not going to sell for $600,000. I want my $30,000. Wait a second. Let me get this straight. So you have $600,000 real dollars in this hand, $30,000 dream dollars, fake dollars you're going to hope for. Remember, hope is not a strategy. You guys know that, right? I'm hoping. Oh, I'm hoping. Doesn't work that way. What's that old Rolling Stone song? You can't always get what you want. You get what you need. And what you need is whatever a buyer's willing to offer. You just need to remember that that's a lot of money. Stop pretending that it being less than what you want means that it's not a lot of money. That's still a ton of money. The only person that's not understanding the value is you as the seller. You need to look at the market it's speaking. So anyway, all right, we've been doing this for way too long. We haven't gotten to the news yet. That's what happens. Let's get the music going. Real talk news coming at you. So we talked about this earlier, guys. There are 13 full moons in 2020, and one will be blue. That's going to be cool. A blue moon? Blue moon. All right, ready? Let's see what they say about it. Let's get one thing straight. Sky lovers were totally spoiled in 2019. The year started out with 3 supermoons, and with a recent solar eclipse, among other celestial events, 2020 has a lot to live up to. While we might not see another lunar trifecta this year, experts do expect to see 2 supermoons, a blue moon, and 13 full moons over the course of 2020. The moon will look the largest in the sky, aka take on supermoon status, this spring. The first of the 2 comes on March 9th, while the other will appear shortly after on April 7th. April's supermoon will be the bigger of the 2 since the moon will be at its closest point to Earth. The real treat comes in October. It's the only month of the year to have 2 full moons, ultimately making the second full moon of the blue variety. And what's even rarer, October's blue moon will take place on Halloween. That is so cool. Hopefully it's not raining then. It always seems like it's raining on Halloween. What's the deal with that? That's going to be pretty sweet. I can't wait for my kids to have a full moon on Halloween. Let's see. After the blue moon on October 2020, trick-or-treaters will need to wait until 2039 to see the next blue moon on Halloween. This is definitely an event you don't want to miss. As for the 13 full moons, a full list can be found below. April 7th has one. That's my birthday's month, but it's the 13th. Let's see. Anybody else have a birthday here that I can say? Well, December 29th is going to be a full moon. We will be doing New Year's Eve Real Talk Year 2. That'll be day 729 in a row. On December 29th, there'll be a full moon, or on December 30th. So we'll talk about that as we get a little closer, guys. So that's something. Let's see what else we got here. This is pretty interesting, guys. Where are we? Are we on the right one? Yeah. Okay, so it's the first of its kind. It's a garbage collector for outer space. Let's see what we got here. It's the first orbiting garbage collector, or is it a new kind of space weapon? That's a good question. There's a lot of junk in space. Tons of thousands of pieces of it circling the Earth at thousands of miles per hour. Each piece is an orbital bullet that can endanger satellites, manned capsules, and the International Space Station. The European Space Agency is about to pull one of the bigger hunks of garbage from orbit, but there's a problem. The same tech that could help to make space cleaner might, in the long run, also make it more dangerous. That's because ESA's Clear Space One orbital garbage truck, as well as other spacecraft like it, could double as a weapon. Swiss startup ClearSpace designed the ClearSpace One vehicle to intercept a chunk of debris, latched onto it, and drag it back to Earth's atmosphere where it could safely burn up. Now, this is interesting, guys. This is what I was talking about to my son the other day. I was like, we got to create some sort of mechanism to take all of this space debris. I didn't think about it burning up on entry. That's a much smarter way of getting rid of it. I was like, let's do a Superman, like grab it and just hurl it out into space. Like, oh, it's just a part of the asteroid belt now. Hey, what is that? It's some random satellite just going through the asteroid belt. Anyway, so check this out, guys. First orbiting garbage collector. I like it. I've been talking about that for a little while. I just didn't do anything about it. It's like everything else. I tell you, listen, you have an idea, go out and do it, because somebody else is going to do it if you don't. This is an interesting one, guys. Alien life is out there, but our theories are probably steering us away from it. What does that mean? If we discovered evidence of alien life, would we even realize it? Life on other planets could be so different from what we're used to that we might not recognize any biological signatures that it produces. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Emma. Yeah, I'll be on same time tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining in. Please follow. I think you already did, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And get some rest. See you tomorrow. Getting some rest, that's a good thing. You're working out before you go to sleep is always a good thing. You're going to get it all out, get some sleep, wake up and feel refreshed in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. Life on other planets could be so different from what we're used to that we may not recognize any biological signatures that it produces. Recent years have seen changes to our theories about what counts as a biosignature and which planets might be habitable. And further turnarounds are inevitable, but the best we can really do is interpret the data we have with our current best theory, not with some future idea we haven't had yet. See you, Emma. Thank you so much. Many results seem to tell us that we're expecting the unexpected is extraordinarily difficult. We often miss what we don't expect to see. Now, that's an interesting thing. I want to share some of the things they talk about here. This is interesting things that we do I didn't even realize. Let me read this to you real quick. All right. For example, when scientists find evidence of when they found evidence of low amounts of ozone in the atmosphere above Antarctica, they initially dismissed it as bad data. With no prior theoretical reason to expect a hole, the scientists ruled it out in advance. Well, thankfully, they were reminded to double check, and the discovery was made. But at first, they dismissed it. Could a similar thing be happening for the search for extraterrestrial life? Scientists studying planets in our other solar systems are overwhelmed by the overabundance of possible observation targets. Here's a crazy stat. In the last 10 years, scientists have identified more than 3,650 planets. That's more than one a day. And with missions such as NASA's TESS exoplanet hunter, this trend will continue. Each and every new exoplanet is rich in physical and chemical complexity. It is all too easy to imagine a case where scientists do not double-check a target that is flagged and lacks significance. But whose great significance would be recognized on closer analysis? So basically they're saying some scientists may look at this and just pass on it and be like, it's just normal. There's nothing going on there. And there could be something there. They also talk about here that there's an illusion that we have all, I guess, seen before. It's called the Muller-Lyer illusion, basically a line ending with two arrowheads pointing outwards with the same length of a line appears to be longer than one with the arrows facing inwards. The line's the same length, but the illusion appears the same. It seems longer. It's tricky. I'm even looking at it right now. I'm like, yeah, it does. So even though we know it's the same length, the illusion remains. So it could be something similar to that. But they're saying we need to be open-minded. Well, on the Real Talk program, we are extremely open-minded. You need to be open-minded in order to understand the complexities of this universe, okay? That's the bottom line. So let's move forward. I'm not going to stay with these stories all day because we're already at 52 minutes and I haven't even gotten to the music yet. This one I had to tell you guys about, okay? When I find a story where someone's doing something to give back, I'm going to talk about it. Somebody's on my side. 3 men who escaped poverty help others find a way out. Paul Collins Hackett sits in Albany's Youth Opportunity Office trying to guide a teenage boy through the ins and outs of getting a job. This is the part I don't shut up about, he instructs the young man. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you might as well not show up. The young man nods his head in agreement. Collins Hackett is a little like a big brother, encouraging but direct. When the teen mentions why he wants the job to help his mother pay her bills so we're not getting kicked out of the houses all the time and moving around a lot, Collins Hackett leans in even closer. I respect that struggle, he tells the teen. My father passed away when I was 3 and my mother's blind. So I've always been super poor and having to help out with bills and stuff like that. So the fact that you have all of those people that you're helping and you're just rising to the occasion, go, brother. However, I can help. Let me know, please. A recent study found that teens growing up in Albany's poorest neighborhoods face some of the toughest conditions in our country. Crime, inadequate housing, missing parents. So several adults, people such as Collins Hackett who work for the city and nonprofits in the area, have been using what they learned from their own struggles growing up to help their kids and these kids survive and hopefully thrive. These efforts by individuals can sometimes have an outsized impact that fight against poverty. Collins Hackett's boss, Jonathan Jones, is another one of these mentors. He credits his single mother's persistence for getting him where he is today. The city's commissioner of Recreation, Youth, and Workforce Services. Impressive. I've been part of every government program you can think of. Adding that his mother pushed him to take advantage of every academic opportunity he could. Now Jones points to a mural on the wall of his office he runs. It was painted by a teen whom he mentored, a 17-year-old gang member. This is him walking up his steps in order to become me, or a person in a suit, Jones says. The mural depicts a young man, his pants hanging below his bottom, leaving behind a gun, a knife, and a needle, and heading up the stairs towards a man with his arm extended. At the top, the word success is painted in bright orange, surrounded by pictures of a house, a car, a diploma, and symbols for a phrase, peace of mind. Does Jones know where the young man is now? Nobody knows, he says. But he's not too bothered by that, because I know I had an impact. He won't forget this, says Jones, adding that you have to do what you can and hope for the best. That's a good one for me to take. Research shows that there are many factors that can help break the cycle of poverty. Good schools, access to health care, and safer neighborhoods. But there's no magic solution. Sometimes it's just a combination of things or an encounter, that right person or having the right experience. While Jones had a strong mother pushing him along, Justin Gaddy had very little adult supervision growing up. I was really deep into violence, you know. That was my thing. I got to kind of do a voice with this, guys, because if I'm going to do a gang member, it's got to be like, yeah, I was really deep into violence, you know what I'm saying? That was my thing. He says from his office a few blocks away from Jones' office, Gaddy got so deep into gangs and guns that in his late teens, he was convicted of federal racketeering charges and faced the possibility of life in prison. Whoa. But he got lucky. When he was sentenced, he got only 6 years. That made me think, you know, someone's on my side, you know. It was like that, got that nudge from the judge, you know, and he's saying, like, you got to turn your life around. Now, years later, he's an outreach worker for an anti-violence group called SNUG, which stands for Should Never Use Guns. Gaddy tries to stop neighborhood teens from making the same mistakes that he did. Like Collins, Hackett, and Jones, Gaddy thinks it's crucial that the kids he deals with recognize that he knows exactly what they're going through. Like I went through the same thing, he says. Actually, I go back to the voice. Like I went through the right thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at me now, you know what I'm saying? I would have never thought I would be where I am now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I got to take this route, and then I go that way, and then I come back, and I'm here to help you. And in Snug's case, this means redirecting them from the streets into sports, jobs, and other activities. All three men realize they can't help everyone, but they know from their own experiences that those kids they do help might someday succeed and inspire somebody else. Love that. Good job, guys. I got to tell you, up in Albany, you're doing some great things. I'm proud of you. So just quickly, I want to share with you guys teespring.com/store/Mark Pires Real Talk. You can officially go and get my t-shirts. There's a few different ones available currently. You can get the one that says we all have the same 24 hours to work with. What are you going to do with that information? And the other one, of course, is when someone says you can't, smile and thank them for the fuel. I have a similar one up there today. You guys may have seen. It's when someone forces their negativity on you, redirected into your gas tank. Same thing, same concept. That is a repost. I wrote that one probably in April, I'd say. I was writing so many quotes at the early part of the show that I basically I'm just reposting. I got about 120 quotes. I'm like, why am I racking my brain for new quotes in a daily? I just repost ones no one ever saw. I can go back. I was putting out so much content that one quote would be swallowed up by the next clip. So there's some great stuff no one ever saw. We're going to be dropping a lot of it going forward. And I'm going to play you a song. It's about that time. I'm going to break forth the rhythm of the rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what we can play for you today. I'm about to lose you guys over here on Instagram. I want you guys to know it's 1 minute and 23. So make sure you go over to YouTube, subscribe, and ding the bell. Okay? I'll see you over there in a few minutes. You got to join everybody else on YouTube or go over to Facebook. Either or work. Some music time. Ready? Let's see what we got. Check. Is that from you? All right. Hopefully I'm not going to feed back here. We'll see. Could be a feedback situation. All right, let's see. I got this figured out now. Remember the last couple days I wasn't able to actually sing and play the guitar separately. It was one microphone for the whole thing. That's about that. That's what we do. We got a little something like that. Bulldogs, what's up, buddy? Thank you for tuning in, my friend. I appreciate it. Twitch is on fire today. I'm loving it. Loving it on Twitch. I just had to rock out a little bit on the beat seat. And I think that's basically it for today, guys. I mean, it's just an hour and 5 minutes. Sorry I didn't do an hour and 20 for you today. Oh, Bulldogs, thanks, man. Happy New Year. I'm just so thrilled to be in year 2. This is day 367 in a row. And we did another hour, an hour and 6 minutes. You know, and every day the shows go. And I can't wait. I'm like, wait, when we start interviewing people, it's going to be like 2 hours. I mean, really, there's no time limit, I think, on YouTube. Like Facebook, I think it's 4 hours, but I'd never do that. But I think we could do like 2 hours and we get interviews going. So we're going to see how this goes going forward. My Instagram people, I feel so bad because they're getting cut off at an hour, first of all. Secondly, I'm filming the screen now. They're not even getting the full experience. Like, they don't get the audio that you guys are getting on Twitch and on Facebook and Periscope, YouTube. So I think they're going to have to come over to YouTube. And please also head over to YouTube. Subscribe and ding the bell. I'm trying to build out that page. Please continue to share the content for this program. Remember, this is a live show every day. We are now heading towards 730 days in a row, okay? We're at 367. You do the math. We should have roughly 363 days left. I'm just saying. And I'm excited about it. Like, whatever, 363. It's nothing. We just did 365. I can't do another 363. What, are you kidding me? I'm like so excited about this next 363. Do you guys have any idea? This is the year where Real Talk finds the platform, where people all of a sudden recognize that it's here every day. Yeah, I can't make today's show, but guess what? He's going to be on tomorrow. Or he's going to be on the next day. You know he's always there. That happens this year. All of a sudden people start recognizing that. Oh, I can't watch for a few days, but I know every day there's a message. I'm going to go and listen to the replays, whatever. I'm going to catch whatever live I can. This is going to start to happen. Start thinking about when I was younger, I would get not addicted to, but I would start to really enjoy certain programs, and I'd want to catch the next one so badly. I just wanted to hear what the next content that was that came out of that program. And I'm realizing this is the year for that, for this program. People are going to start saying, I wonder what's the Real Talk is bringing today. What's happening in Real Talk today? Let me tune in. 2020. So I'm pumped about it, guys. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. If you have any topics you want me to cover, just let me know. I will see you tomorrow for day 368. Year 2 is on. I'm dropping a podcast for you too. Head to Teespring, pick up your t-shirts. I want to see the first pictures of people wearing Real Talk t-shirts. You're going to get them posted on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc. It's Mark Pires. And it's Real Talk. I'll see you tomorrow.